What's up, everybody? My name's Srixis. I'm here to talk with you guys about the Paladins April Anarchy bracket, the top 8 bracket for the Paladins Collegiate League here at AVGL. The bracket was made up of the top 2 teams from each of 4 divisions after playing through 4 weeks of round robin. I'm going to be running through some of the teams, just a brief overview. I'm going to be talking about how to find the bracket, and I'm going to be discussing some of my predictions for the bracket as well. You can find the bracket by going to the AVGL website, clicking on news, or just scrolling down on the main screen and clicking on this April Anarchy, the pinnacle of college esports link right here. Um, you can also go to the Paladins subreddit and find this link that starts with the title "It's Time for April Anarchy, the March Madness of Esports." Both of them give you a link to this page, and you can click on the Paladins link down here, and that will take you to the challenge bracket right here. You can find the rules for submissions up here. There's a create a prediction button right here, and of course here's a bracket that mirrors this bracket right here. Again, it'll play out on March 26th at 6 p.m. EDT. So if you're interested in checking out the collegiate side of Paladins, you'll be able to see a lot of familiar names in the bracket here, which we will go over shortly. So I won't be making my own bracket, but I'll just run down some of these predictions and what I think is most likely to happen. Let's make sure this is fully on the screen. So the first match is Davenport versus University of Texas. Davenport has some of the most recognizable names in this league right now, and has the most of them of any team here right now. Davenport is made up of Eagers, Wi-Fi, Astral Authorities, Avuli, and Powtech, and current free agent Grapple, who's been in the Paladin scene, in and out of the Paladin scene for a while. This team is extremely strong. They didn't drop a game. I don't think they dropped a point in their bracket, in their division bracket. They're going to be facing off against University of Texas, who is a strong team. They did fairly well in their pools, but I don't think they necessarily have the prowess to take out a big name such as Davenport. So I'm going to go ahead and move Davenport up to the semifinals. Second match is going to be Concordia versus Stony Brook. This is very likely to be the closest match of the quarterfinals matches. Concordia is the only first seed team to not have very many notable names from the Paladins Masters scene in it, and they're also the only first seed in their division to drop a game to their second seed. They lost a game to Bloomsburg University in a fairly close set overall. I think that Stony Brook looked solid. They did drop both games to Rowan University. They lost one of those games, I think, without getting a single kill, which is unfortunate, but they looked really strong in the rest of their division. So I think that they have a fair chance of taking it over Concordia. I think that this is very likely to be a 3-game set. I think that either team could very well take it, so it's kind of a toss-up. I think that leaning towards Concordia taking it, but Stony Brook has looked solid on stream so far. I don't think we've seen Concordia much on stream, so that might be a little bit of bias on my part from uh, thinking Concordia might be a little bit better than they are based on not seeing their play directly, but we'll have to see there. The third match is Rowan versus Bloomsburg. Rowan was likely the most dominant team within their own division. They won 2 games without dropping a kill, one of those against Stony Brook. They also just, I think they're the second team to not drop a single point after Davenport in their division. And If you follow the scene, this team has a couple of other notable names. Almost everyone in the scene knows Shady Shades and Z1 Unknown. They're both really good players, both really aggressive damage dealers, um, and they showed it every single game in their division. I think they're going to continue to show it. I think that this match is likely not going to be very close, unfortunately for Bloomsburg. So this one's just going to go to Rowan. The last match of the quarters is Clark versus Sheridan. Clark is made up of I Drop Bodies of Astral Authority, a very well-known player in the scene right now. A couple of other notable names, not necessarily as well known throughout the scene, but the Spuds and Force are both from Exalted. They've done pretty well in the ESL tournaments that Paladins has been a part of for the past couple of weeks, especially. And this team looks really solid. They've done really well. They didn't drop a game in their division. They had a couple of somewhat close games, but other than that, they have looked really dominant so far. Sheridan is the second seed underneath Davenport. They looked solid in their division. They did not look solid against Davenport, but they looked good against everybody else essentially. But I think Clark is edging more towards Davenport's prowess than they are towards Sheridan, and I think Clark's going to go ahead and take this. Um, I know I have this as all first seeds, like I mentioned before. Stony Brook is also quite likely to take this game. I think this one's very much a toss-up. If you click on this match details, it shows that it's close to even, 58% favor Concordia, 42% favor Stony Brook. I'm kind of in that boat, like slightly leaning Concordia, but Stony Brook could easily take it. So I think that other than this one, I think these other three are likely set in stone. I don't think that we're going to see any upsets in matches 1, 3, or 4 here. After the quarters, we have the semifinals. Davenport versus Concordia is the first one. Davenport is, we talked about how Concordia is close in prowess with Stony Brook. I think Davenport's way above them. Concordia has potential to take a game maybe if they pull out something interesting, but I think Davenport's pretty easily got this set, and they should pretty easily make the finals. This one's going to be a bloodbath. Both teams have great names on it. Both teams have done really, really well in their division. And both teams have players that have done really well in the professional scene as well. I think this one's kind of a toss-up. There's no match details here, so we can't see how other people have decided. But I think that Rowan looks very good, and they looked very good in their division. I'm a little bit nervous as to how they'll play out in this semifinal match. They only have a couple of really big names, and they seem to kind of shoehorn themselves into one style of composition so far, whereas Clark has run a lot more flexible comps in their division. Rowan's mainly sticking with 2 tanks, 1 healer, 2 damage dealers of some kind. We often see either 2 damage, 1 damage, 1 flanker. We know Shady likes his buck a lot. Shady got a quadra kill in one of his games on buck. So I think that this one is kind of leaning Clark. I think Rowan still very well can take it. I'm a little bit leaning Clark for their flexibility in draft. We've seen 4 out of the 5 players, I believe, play 2 or 3 different roles at the very least in their division alone, and that's really good to have for a team composition. It means that you can just play any kind of style and kind of outdraft. It's easier to outdraft your opponent in that way. So I'm edging Clark. I think this is going to be a 3-game set. I think we're going to see a really good set here, but I'm giving the edge right now to Clark. If you scroll down a little bit more, you'll see that you can select the winner. This match will not be played on March 26th. This match will actually be played on April 9th, sorry, at the Masters LAN at Hi-Rez Studios. The players will get flown out to Hi-Rez Studios to play uh, against each other alongside the other Masters players. You can select the winner here in the drop-down menu. You can't see the drop-down menu because of reasons, but I believe, at least right now, that Davenport has an edge. They have obviously the easiest path of the 4 first seeds to LAN, but I don't think that gives them any less. I don't think that gives me any less reason to think that they're not going to take this match. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a 3-game set, most likely, unless Davenport just blows Clark out of the water somehow with drafts or with aggression or something. But I think it's going to be a close match. I do think Davenport's going to take it overall, and I think they're going to be your AVGL April Anarchy and Paladins League winners. If you remember, if you want to submit your bracket, to fill out this information down here according to the rules, and make sure to check out the AVGL Paladins Top 8 this Sunday, March 26th at 6 p.m. EDT.